Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP Analytics Cloud Training with me Anubhav. In our last session we talked about how to work with SAP Analytics Cloud BI features. We have seen how to create your first model, which is a public model of type BI model, and it was an acquired data model of type classic. We have used the model in our story to build our dashboard in the system. Then towards the end of the class, I was showing you the specification document and there was an exercise for you to perform. Some of you have completed your exercise, which is very good. Some of you are stuck. They've started, but they got stuck. And some of you are also kind of not even started because you had no clue. No worries. We will first look at the solution of the exercise, which we did give you in the last class. Followed by that, we'll look at some of the interesting concepts on Analytics Cloud like story filter, page filter. We'll talk about blending. We'll discuss about point of interest, also creating hierarchies and working with GeoMap ST points data. So let's get started. So I will switch over back to the specification document, which I was showing you in the last episode, because that's the document where we will be having our exercise to be able to complete the exercise first. So let me start with the document. And when you come down to the document, you will see there was an exercise for all of you using this data. So now what I will do is I will first go ahead and create another page called advance. So let's switch over back and I will come to the files, go to Anubhav Trainings, SSE folder, stories, and open our sales dashboard story. This is our dashboard story for sales, which we developed in the last class. I click on edit. And now I'm in the edit mode. So let me just go ahead and add a new page. So you can see this is here is not a splitter layout. So we can just start with a canvas page. You can see. So you remember three types of pages which I discussed in last class. They are here. Responsive is for mobile, canvas is for desktop, and grid is for financial data. So I'll go with canvas page and let's rename the page to advance. And I just come back and start. So now you can see the first step was done, adding a new page called advance. The second step is to add a filter for order ID based on the order value. If you come down, you can see all the details are given here. So add an input control with the filter on order ID with the order value more than 15,000. So whenever you filter based on this, the data should change in your table and also in your charts. So maybe first I will add a table and then we will add also this filter to test this filter also along with the table. So I'll start with the table, and in this table you can see we have the order ID, product ID, sales agent, and you can see since we changed the color preference yesterday to white, everything comes as white. So first I click on our canvas page and go to styling panel at the page level and change the background color to a dark color so that white looks better. And now I come back to the builder panel by selecting the table to add our rows. So we add order ID, we add sales agent performance. So let's go ahead and do that. We say order ID, we add sales agent, then we have performance of sales agent. We don't have this column right now in our data set. We have unit sold and order value as a measures. So we just go back and say unit sold and order value. Make sense? So right now, whatever columns I do have, I have added them over here. Looks nice. Next, we will add this filter. So let's add a filter on order ID which greater than, or a range filter basically. So anything which is where order ID is exceeding 15,000 bucks, I want to filter the data. So for this, we go back again and we add this input control like we saw in last class. Input control, I add that, and this time it's a measure, and I want to add a measure filter for order value. Now you can see here the dimension context should be order ID. Why? Because for every order I would like to do this. Yes, for every order I would like to do the filtering. Then I will have a between range between 0 to 15,000, or I can say something greater than 15,000. Yes, so this is how I can add a range filter. Can we allow multiple selection or single selection? So we can say only single selection is allowed. Now, right now in the table, you would see that we do have data for different orders which were earlier there for every order value. But now with this new filter being introduced, you see my table shows for each order ID amount greater than 15,000 only now. So if I reduce this amount to, let's say, 8,000, it will start showing me all the data of each order having value more than 8,000. So you will have some records which will have also the values above 8,000. You see here 8164 9157. Yes, and if I just make it 16,000, you can see here the value is now only above 16,000. It is demonstrating to me. Nice. Now together with this feature, I would like to show you a feature called pagination. So currently there is a scroll bar, and okay, let me first save this and I go to the view mode. So currently we do have a scroll bar only for our data set. Yes, maybe my user don't like the scroll bar. They don't want to scroll over the data. Rather, they want to do pagination. Yes, pagination. So we can enable that feature by clicking our table, go to designer panel, and now we do have the settings, auto size and page table vertically. If you check this checkbox and save, and now you go back to the view mode, you will see that instead of having a scroll bar, we can see this table, and there is this paginator control. So there is no scroll bar anymore, and you see paginator control. If you click, you can see it is doing pagination now of our data. Yes. So this is a nice control. Rather than just having a scroll bar, we get a paginator control. So this is a another feature of a table control. Okay, so we've added a filter for filtering the data, and if you just see here, anything which is about 10 rupees or $10 is also going to display everything now. So this is how we can add our first control along with the table to test the same. Next control is to add a order value per customer segment per product on actuals. If you come down, everything is given over here. You can see all the details have been added over here in the system. Now what it says is the third requirement, create a story filter using the button on the UI to convert page filter to story filter. Okay, what's the difference between page filter and story filter? It's a interview question also. What is the difference between page filter and story filter in SAC? As the name suggests, page filter applies the filtering criteria only to the single page, means current page. But a story filter applies the filtering criteria to all the pages in a single story. Yes, all the pages in a story. Suppose if I go back, I want to also add a filter for date. Yeah, I want to fetch all the data for 2021. So last class I showed you we had a input control and we choose dimension as date. Yes, and we added this date filter. So this we also did in the last class. And here when I choose alone, let's say 2020 alone. Yes, it filters the data for 2020. Exact same filter was also added in the last class on the left hand side here, you see. So if you need the same filter to be applied on all the pages, why is that there is a need to create duplicate work? No need. It's dirty. We should not do duplicacy. So what I do is I remove this from here. I go back to my last class dashboard, and from here this filter what you see, select, go to more option, and you have an option to convert this to a story filter. The moment you do this to a story filter, it now becomes a filter criteria at story level, which means all the pages within that story can consider this filter to be applied. So it's like a central filter. Yes, if I click, it says the filter is currently a page filter. If you wish or want to use filter control on filter bar, it needs to be converted to story filter. Do you want to convert? I say yes. And now you see it's gone from here and it has come on the top. Wow. So the moment you go and filter, so you see these numbers, yes, these numbers 1559, or let's say this number 164, 1654, 564. And if you come here also, you have these some results, some records are there. Yes. And you can see here 1002, there are some number of records. But if I go back and if I uncheck and just check 2021, you can see the data in the table has changed. It has changed. And also if you come back to the dashboard, we had this 164 something, now it's gone to 375 67 657. So it has changed the data in both the pages. This is how we work with story filter, a filter which is applied globally at your story level, and hence can change the data in all the pages underlying in the story. Yes, this is how we can convert. Can we convert back a story filter back to a page filter? Yes, we can. So we can just go back and right click again. Sorry, we can just click again, and here we can say convert to page filter again. Click on that, and now it will come back again as a page filter. You see it has come here. I just move it down and expand, and you can see it has become now a page filter again. It only affects my current chart data. It does not affect my table anymore in the second page. So this is how we can convert a page filter to story filter and a story filter to a page filter. Yes. Okay. Next, heat map chart. So you can see that we have different variety of charts. So the second chart which I would like to demonstrate is a heat map chart. A heat map chart is potentially used to demonstrate the distribution of your data across multiple dimensions. So you see it has two axes, x-axis and y-axis. On x-axis we are showing dimension one, which is product. On y-axis we are showing dimension which is called customer type. Yes. So this is how we have different dimension, product and customer type, customer segment. So across multiple dimensions, if you want to show distribution of your measure and the data, you can use the heat map chart. So let's go ahead and use the heat map chart now in the system. So I'm going to come back, and this filter which we added, I want to affect only my table because of that. So I go to linked analysis and I say only widget to this table, apply. Next, let me go ahead and now add a filter, a heat map chart, this heat map chart. So I will just move the table little downwards. So one more advantage of canvas page over the responsive page is you can overlap content. You see, I can do overlapping also. This is not possible in the responsive page. So in a canvas page, it is possible to overlap also your content very easily. So this is the benefit of a responsive page. Okay, let me come and add here a chart. and just expand. And now we will have here a chart of type heat map with product and customer segment. So let's come here. It's here heat map, and we choose x-axis as product, y-axis as customer segment. It's inside hierarchy, and then the measure is the order value. So if you have a proper specification, it's super easy to build analytics. Order value, and there you go. You get a heat map, and you can clearly make out here is the heat levels. Higher the color, higher the value of in that particular category. So for this bike in the wholesale segment, we have the highest sales in our company. So next time if I want to do expansion, I would probably target wholesale segment with this kind of a bike. Now if you go back, you can also show here the legend. So show, we have this legend option to show the heat map coloring scheme. So anything which is beyond this 1.5 million, that is coming with the darker color. So which is obvious in this case. Okay, that's a heat map chart. Okay, next, it's a waterfall chart. Waterfall chart is basically always used the time as a axis, and of course not always time, but usually use time as a axis and shows the split up of your data. So heat map chart shows the distribution, but a waterfall chart shows the split up of your data, how your data is split across different segment. So let's add another chart, and we can choose here the waterfall. I want to go a vertical waterfall, and if as per the specification, you can see it's a waterfall for order value and date. So I want to show how my order values are split up across multiple dates. So order value, and I add my dimension as a date. You can notice that date is a default hierarchy. We did not create any hierarchy, but the system has considered this as a hierarchy out of the box for you. Wow, out of the box, my friends. So this is how the date is, and you see 19, 20, 21, the split up of your data, and this is the total sales. You can change the color a bit, and this is how it look like. Now the most interesting part I love about this heat map, sorry, this waterfall chart, is you can drill down. So I click, and I can say hierarchy, and you see now for 2020 the data is spread across four quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. It is showing in how much each quarter contributes to reach to the entire revenue of 2020. Furthermore, you can go to quarter 2, and you can again drill down, and then you see for quarter 2, 1, 2, and 3, this is how the April, May, and June month were doing for quarter 2. Nice. You can also go on the top, and you can say all levels, and you can clear the filter also. So it's you cleared it. Yes. So this is how we can drill down. We can splice the data with the help of waterfall chart. So that's our waterfall chart in a vertical manner. Yes. So you see we drill down to 2019 or 2020 and see the behavior. Okay. The next chart comes is called order value per customer status for date for actual. So this is a stack chart. You can see my business wants to know that in each year which segment of the customer is contributing the most. Is it a returning customer which is giving the most of the business? Is it a prospect customer, the basically completely new business, or is it already an existing customer who is coming again and again giving me the business? So I would like to know the distribution of my customer segment for each year sales, so that I can target specifically, and I can find out specifically which of the customer status or which of the customer type is giving me the most business in each year consecutively. So that's where we can use this option. So I'm going to go back, and let's just go ahead and add a chart, and we will choose it as a vertical chart. add or measure as order value, and then we will add dimension as date. And since it is a hierarchy, it shows all. I'll split down. You can see we have all, year, quarter, and month. This is the current granularity we have. So I go to level 2, which is year, and now you see this is per year sales, but this is the total sales per year. I don't know which customer contributed to this sales, so I wanted to also uh, dice the data. So dice means one dice above another, so I want to dice the data. So earlier we did slicing of data, but now we are doing dicing of data. To dicing the data, we need to know which customer status contributes to this 4724,340. So we can come down and you see we have color. I add a color as customer status, and now you see the stack. Yeah, and just go up and you say stack bar column chart, and it will stack everything. Wow. So now you see, in order to reach to this number of 4724,340, which of the customer segment is contributing. This is called dicing of data. This is how we can do dicing of our data. Fantastic, cool now. Okay, so now what we have here is this waterfall chart. We have the waterfall chart, we have the heat map chart, and we have the order value. The next filter which I would like to add is date range. So earlier we already added the date range, but we have not added a dynamic date filter. What is a dynamic date filter? So guys, the definition of date is very tricky, because see, you built a dashboard today in your company. Yes, so you built a complete dashboard, a story. You build a story in your company, and you created, let's say, a chart. Yes, you created a chart. So this dashboard was built today. As of now, we are on 24th of July 2022. This is our date, for example. Now I am saying please add a filter on my data set for my year 2021 2022. Yes, so as of now we are on July 2022. After almost 6 months later, we will be in the month of January 2023, correct? So in this case we have 2021, 2022, and 2023. We have 3 years of data. So today, when you say today, it shows the filter for 2022, but the day you, after 6 months, you reach to January 2023, then you say today, the definition of today changes, because over the time it's changing. So today, tomorrow, yesterday, last month, current month, the date is constantly changing, the time is constantly changing. So you do not want to keep your time static, because if you hard code your year, this dashboard you need to change next year. When you change every year, every year, every year, you need to adapt. You need to make code changes. Yes, you need to make code changes. You need to keep adapting this. So this is a big problem. You need to keep adapting your code changes. Yes, keep adapting your code changes for every year consecutively to adapt to this dashboard. So this is a big problem. Yes, it's a big problem. So this is why now guys we can use a dynamic date filter, where we say system that I want current and I want previous, which is -1. So next year when you open the dashboard, it will automatically take current and previous. Yes. So this is where we can use dynamic date filter. It's an amazing feature, because date keeps on changing, and SAP Analytics Cloud doesn't want you to adapt your stories and your pages again and again. So let's come back and see this in action. I will come back and I will add a filter, and I will say dimension, and of course we'll choose date, but this time we choose filter by range, and we say I'm looking at a dynamic period or a fixed period, because it's a date. And in the date hierarchy, you can see the granularity. And maybe I just say I'm looking for a date for create a date input control, or we can just open range. And I say, please look at a monthly granularity and a look back of about 24 months of data. Don't look ahead anything. So as of now, it's July 2022. So next year or next month, when you see this, will then look for uh, August 2022 and 24 month automatically back from August 2022. So this is how the system will naturally automatically keep changing your dashboard dynamically based on date, changing dates. I click on OK, and now you see the filter has been added. This is the dynamic date filter in SAP Analytics Cloud. Make sense? So you can keep changing now. So maybe I would like to only impact my data in let's say in waterfall chart. So let's come back and add, edit, linked analysis, only selected widgets, and I say only my water. You see these icons also telling you the chart type, the heat map, the waterfall, the stack chart. Yes, it's telling apply. And now you see it's looking 24 month of data from the current year. Yes, and if I just change it to 12 months, then you see that there is no data available for that in that case. Yes, so if I look forward for let's say 24 month again and press enter and check this checkbox, you see it comes. Change it to 12, no data. 16 months please, no data. Yeah, 16 month we have covered the 2020 2021, we have covered that in 16 month of period. Yes, so this is how exactly we can go ahead and look for data with a dynamic date filter automatically in the system. Yes, that's called dynamic date filter. Okay, so let's move back to the exercise. So we did 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, now one very interesting thing you see here, we have performance of a sales agent, how the sales agent is performing. You see this performance. Do we have a column in our database, in our data set for performance of sales agent? We don't have. Then how is this performance calculated? Yes, this is calculated using a calculation on the fly, on the fly. So how it is being done? So if you come down, table with the dynamic dimensions, we need to create a calculated dimension for calculating sales representative performance depending on how much unit we sold. If the sales agent have sold units 500 and above, it's a high performance sales agent. If they sold between 350 to 500, it's a medium performance sales. If it is below 350, it's a low performance sales agent. So let's use this criteria for number of units sold to identify performance of my sales agent. So when you come down, you see here 364, 21, 553, yes, 296. So these are the units sold by them. We will add now the new column. So click, go to designer and just come down to add a dimension. And now you see we have create calculated dimension. I go inside and I say it's a measure based dimension based on my measure, which is unit sold. And now I can add here three criterias, which is low performance sales agent or high performance sales agent, medium performance sales agent, and low performance sales agent. So anything which goes above 500, anything between 350 to 500, and anything which is below 350. So below 350, 350 to 500, and above 500. These are the ranges which we add. And the context here is for each order ID. Okay. For check for each order ID, considering each individual order, please check it. Yes. Not customer name, not agent name, but for each order, check one of these, and this will be called performance. how my each sales agent did with respect to each order. Each order. I click OK, and you will see a new calculated. Yes, it has added a new calculated dimension called performance. And for this sales agent in this order, it was medium performant, then low performant, and high performant. So how did they perform is what comes as a performance over here for the sales agents. Nice, cool, na? So this is how we can create a table with the dynamic dimension. Okay, now we want a table with the dynamic text as well. So dynamic text means I would like to show here above on the table, because we are filtering on lot many criterias for the table. So we are considering this range, we are considering this date range. Yes, so if I just go back, I want also the consider this date range for my table as well. So let me do it for sales data table, apply, and even for this, yeah, it's applying on sales data. So the criterias which we are changing, they are constantly going to change our table data over here. So I would like to know whenever somebody change any filter, this table is currently showing data for corresponding to which filter. So that should come as a label on the top. So what I'll do, right click, so my sales data transactions for period and for sales value, and I come here to period and right click and add a dynamic text. And in this, I go to my input controls and I choose my date input control and I click create. And then I will just go to sales value, space, right click, dynamic text. I go to input control and I choose order ID criteria, create. Wow. Let's save and test. So you see clearly it's for Q4 2020 to Q3 2022 with a sales order value greater than 10. If I change now this value to 12,000, you will see now it also changed here. So the user will know that currently this table is showing you data for all the orders which are about 12,000. And for criteria Q4 2020 to Q3 2022, if I go back and change my date range to let's say 36 months, you will now know that it's showing for Q3 2019 to Q3 2022. That's the date range it is considering with a order value greater than 12,000. So any of our user will now know what's the data displayed in this table. Yes. You can additionally also launch a link, a dynamic link. For example, I would like to launch our website. So we can go here and we can just add a link. So I think it's in the more option. Okay, once again, click. Okay, the zoom level is way too high. Let me reduce a bit. Yeah, so I can just do it. And you see here, we have an add an option and we have a hyperlink over there. So I can click on hyperlink and I can choose now a external URL and I say, please launch https anubhavtrainings.com and I say launch source and I click on done. And now see there's an external link. If you go back to the view mode, first save it. You cannot go to view mode without saving the changes. Yes. And now let's go to the view mode and we will get a navigate to external link. I click launch the source please, and it should launch now. Yes, anubhavtrainings.com. It has navigated you to. Cool. That's amazing. Yes. Okay, I go back and open up back again our story. So that's how we can also use navigation to another story altogether. Yes. So this is how we work with SAP Analytics Cloud. And you see pagination is also showing here. So you can paginate. Okay. So let me next go to, this was the solution of your exercise which was given to all of you in the last episode. So if you have attempted the exercise and you get stuck somewhere, now you know the solution of every. So I have written everything here, guys. There's a lot of effort which is gone here to prepare this document for you. And anybody who knows the flow, knows this document, it will be enough for you to go ahead and do this. Can we format a story filter? Story filter, what you want to format, Narayan? What you want to format in story filter? What exactly you want to format?
So I want to change the design, like the look and appearance of the format filter.
What design? I
Say I
didn't
want
understand.
to increase the I want to increase the font size, change the font color of
Okay,
some
that
for
we
the
can,
story
yes.
filter.
So usually, as we all know, we can go to the styling panel for all of that. So let's do that. In fact, I will show you for table also. So let's select, go to designer, go to builder panel, sorry, styling panel. And here you have the color, the text color, the font color. Yes, everything you can change. So let me choose Georgia, size as 20. You can see it's changing. For the content, also I want Georgia, and I want to change the color to pink. You see it is changed the pink color now here. It does. Yes. So you can change everything. So what you want to change, first you have to select that. You want to change content, dimension, measure, slide text, everything you can select. Yes. For story filter you cannot change. Page filter you can. For story filter you cannot. But for page filter you can. Okay. All right.
So
So
like story filter affects the full story, all the pages.
mhm.
Can we have the KPIs shown in the first sales dashboard tab to be displayed on all the pages?
No, we cannot. The same question you asked yesterday, and I answered you
Yes,
that
sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
we
sir.
cannot do this. This can only be done with analytic application.
Applications only. Okay, sir.
Mhm.
And in the table, can we have subtotals and grand totals also?
Yeah, so just select the table, and we have an option here in the builder panel to show totals. Yes, so we can have the subtotals and grand totals also. You can see. You can transpose the columns also. So that's something which you can just give it a try by checking the checkbox. Okay, so
Box
there's a
will display only the subtotals. I won't get the grand total of all the. So like the performance of the performance, say like for example, medium, low, and high. I would have some total subtotal according to, medium and high and low, and then a grand total for all together.
So for that, you have to create another table on top of this dimension. So what you can do is, let me just go back and show another small chart, and we can just say, hey, I want to show what is the count of my high, medium, and low. So we have created a new dimension called performance, and now you see there are total 2218 orders which are low performant, high performant 125, and medium performant 170. So you have to create another chart for that,
Mhm.
and we can change the color palette to change the chart color.
And as we scroll the table upwards, the headings disappear. So can we
Yes,
fix the headings?
yes, I think we can. So we have to choose report styling property. So we go back here, and there has to be a property to fix the headings. So maybe I just right click and I say show hide, display option, sort option. It should be possible. Let me just give it a try. First of all, is it really changing the headings or not? I just go back to view, and I just scroll down. Yes, headings are disappearing. So I think we can fix the columns, column headings. It should be possible. Let me just check. There has to be a freeze property. There must be there. It must be there. Okay. My zoom level is way too high. Yes, you see freeze dimension header row. If you do this, then it will freeze the headers of the table when even you are scrolling with the pagination. You can also auto resize the table. So these are the options you can explore. Yes, you can just go and explore in more options and designer panel for your control. So in the table, there are three account. Can we hide dimension? Only the text to hide. Only the text to hide. In the table, three is account. There is an, I don't understand, Ravi, your question. Can you please speak up? What do you mean to say?
Anubhav, if you go to the table control, yes, this
Uh-huh.
sales data, this account is there, yes, because sometimes I feel that is confusing to the user, yes. So only this text to hide, Anubhav, yeah, before the unit sold. The account is there, yes, above the before the unit
Oh,
sold.
this
This
one.
text is here. This one, yeah.
I don't think we can hide this. Let me just try.
Okay, it's text
We
all.
cannot. We cannot hide. We cannot hide. We cannot hide. We cannot hide this.
Okay, no, it's clear, Anubhav, yeah.
Mhm. Or option two is you can use the new model concept that there is no account dimension concept as such. Okay.
Okay.
Next is I merged the sales agent first name, last name, and the story, but forgot to change the label. How can I change the label? Rebuild option. Please go back to last class. I showed how to rebuild your model. So go to your model, click on rebuild button, and then you can change the label and rebuild the model and come back. So Sandeep has a question from the sales dashboard. Discount is working only when the order value is selected. For other measure, it shows weirdly. Yes, exactly, because we have done the calculation based on order value. So this is why it is only working for order value. Yes. So there is no other option. Yes. Obviously, the system can only do things which are logically possible. Think logically. If you're using a measure in your calculation, but that measure itself is not displayed in the chart, the result will be spurious because system doesn't find the measure on which you applied the calculation anymore on the chart, right? Yes, it's like dividing a number with zero. That is practically not possible in mathematics. So same logically applies to analytics cloud. How can analytics cloud do something radically different? Yes, so logical operations only will produce the correct results, else the result is always spurious. Okay, so let's take a 5-minute break, and right after the break, we will start with some of the advanced features of Analytics Cloud in the system. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, everyone, please come back after the break. So before the break, we saw the solution of our sales dashboard exercise. In the next section, I will show you some of the interesting features, additional features of SAC. The next feature in the SAC is called a container control. So a container control allows you to check the data of a chart based on dimension. Yes. So for example, in your company, you have data for different countries for the sales. So let me first build a chart for the total sales. Let me also change first the background color to a dark color and build a chart here. Very simple chart where I show total order value or total unit were sold based on each customer type. So customer status. So I know that from my current customer, from my prior customer, and my prospect customer, what is the sales coming. But now I would like to see the sales for each customer or for each country or for each product. I have around 30, 40, 50, 100 products in my company, or I'm serving more than let's say 50 countries. So creating 50 charts over here is not a good idea. Yes, it's not a good idea. So what I can do is I can go ahead and use a special type of feature called container. So what I do now is I click on plus, and there is a special type of option called section. I add that, and now you can see a section is added. So what I now do is I just drag my chart and drop it on the section. Now sometimes your zoom size of the browser is very big. Because of that, it's hard for you to drag and drop the content. So you can use control key on your keyboard and you scroll down to reduce the size, and then it's easy for you to drag and drop. So drag drop this to the section. Make sense? And now make the section up. Okay, zoom again. So now we have put in our chart inside the section, and we can select here this section and add a filter for country. So you can see we have got the country Afghanistan now. Okay, let me also change the color here. Go to styling panel, and we can just add a border, dashed border with a white color, because on a darker white looks beautiful. And then I can just also change, yeah, the text color here. This is a text color. Change it to again white with a font as Cotia and up to 24 with the bold and center text. Okay, beautiful. So for Afghanistan, now it shows me how much business I'm getting from there. And there are 227 countries. Wow, look at that. So this is what I'll save now. So for each country, now you can see what is the total sold quantity for each customer segment. So now you come here and you can see this option, and then there is this pagination. So I click next. Albania, Algeria, Americana, Adora, Angola, Alugilia, Azerbaijan, Antarctica, all the countries. You can see Australia, Austria, all the countries, Bahamas, Bahrain, Bangladesh. So you can keep scroll down to see for each country what's the sales. So this way you can really create an amazing section which can show you the data and split of data for each dimension. You do not have to end up creating or flooding your screen with hundreds of charts for each country. So there are 227 countries. You don't need to create 227 charts over there. So this is a feature called section feature in SAC. Okay, moving on. This is a section feature. The next feature which I would like to demonstrate is a concept of blending. What is blending? Blending is a concept where you can merge two models. Just think of a use case in your company. If you work with SQL, we have joins in SQL where we can join two database tables together. Yes. So I have two tables and I would like to join them, and that's called blending. So I have a table 1 and I have a table 2. So we usually join this. Now compare this with Analytics Cloud. So you have model 1 and you have model 2, and you are connecting them together. Yes, based on a criteria, based on a join condition. In which case you do this, and this is exactly called here in SSC called blending. So remember, Analytics Cloud is not technical tool. It's not a very technical tool. It's designed for anyone who have basic computer knowledge. They can also learn Analytics Cloud and do the things. There is no need to learn complicated stuff or SQL or programming. No programming experience is required. So this same feature is called blending, where you want to connect two objects together based on a criteria. So of course there will be a condition which you have to put to blend the data. Now what's my use case? My use case here today is, in my company I have, or my sales head of the company have given target to colleagues for sales. So there is a target sales given in each product segment. So they have given some target that someone has to sell 1 crore of business, someone has to get 50 lakh of business. So that is the target which was given by my sales head to each of the company member. Now I have this information in another model, and the current model is based on actuals. Means as of today, what is the real sales? Yes, that's my actuals. So we want to now compare for each product segment how much was the target and how much we have achieved so far. Okay, how much was the target and how much is what we achieved so far in the system. So now let us go ahead and see and experience this in the system. I'm going to switch over back. I will add a chart. Yes, and now I just change the background color to dark color. And the first thing which I will know now is what's my sales. So let's create it vertical, and what's my total order value per product in a simple manner I will get. Okay, so this is the actual sales, means what is being done by far in the course of the years. Now there is a another model, there is another data set where I have the target sales, how much I supposed to sell for each product over the years. This information is there in our another data set called sales data target N. Right now I'm not created a model, so first let's create a model using this data set. So imagine in your company you have data distributed across multiple models. How do you combine the data? That's called blending. Yes, so let's use this second data set. I'm going to first save this and I will open a new session. So to open a new session, I'll show you a trick in Analytics Cloud. What you do is you go to URL and take up to this hashtag you see. So take the URL up to the hashtag and give it in another tab of the browser. So copy this, come back and open. It'll open the home page. Yes. Now I go back and create a model and create model from file, and I will just give the address of my model file. So let's give that address, sales data target N. Click open, click import. So I'm importing this target sales for each product. Just the way we created the model earlier, it has come. And now you can see I have the target meeting and target order value, target units. We have some bad data, means blank data. Let's replace all the blank values. So come here and replace all the blank values which are blank with 0 on a safer side. Press enter. So that's a transformation I've applied. And this is a model which we created just now. So we have date, we have product type, target value, target meeting. This is considered by system as a dimension. You see flower. So we change it to measure. We say no, this is not a dimension, it's a measure. Yes. So just make sure. Yeah. So we have again these three measures for each product with the dates. Now I click on create model, and we will save this model in the system adjacent to the model which we already have. So let's go inside models, be a model, and we save it here. Cool. So now I'm just saving this model over here in the system. Done. It's been saved. And the next step is, once it's been saved now, what I can do is I can just go ahead and do a blending. So I've got two models. The data is spread across multiple database table, or imagine in case of SSE now you have two models. So what I can do now is go back to my original dashboard, and you see this add linked model button. Option number one is from here. Option number two is this button you see, linked dimension. Any of the option you can choose, it does the same thing. Both places you can do. So I do here, it's easy for me. Click, and on the right side now I will choose the second database table, second model indeed, and I will just give the path of my second model, the target model. Yes, do that. It will load, and now you see I will connect them. What is the join criteria? It's the product, and it's a product. That's my join criteria. But don't join my product based on their descriptions. Join the product based on their IDs. So go to more options, ID, more option, ID, and I click set. Done. So you can see we added sales data and we've added sales data target. Both we've added over here. Yes. And now it's been added. So now I can compare. So I have the product. Good. That's a link criteria. You see the link icon. And now I can add the target value next to the current order value. Click on measure, and you see both the models now. It's done the blending. So I click and I say, show me the target value, what was expected to achieve. I click. So this was the target, and this is what was achieved by far. So you can see almost every product we are lagging in the target. What was targeted and what was achieved. So the join type, what is the join type? So that you can control. You can go back again, and you see this link type is all primary data. It's a left outer join by default. If you want a full outer join, you see all data. If you want an inner join, you say intersecting data. So that is what system allows you. Only left outer join, full outer join, and inner join are allowed. Yes, that is how the types of the joins you can choose in the system. Can we remove the space between the target and actual column bar? No, we cannot control. This is a standard space. We cannot. However, you can just change it to a stack chart. Yes, stack chart, or let's make it horizontal for comparison purpose. So this is target. So maybe I can change it to green color, where we want to be our company, and what was we achieved by far. Let me change it to yellow color. So you can also change the standard color palettes provided by SAP. You can choose them. So this is how we can create our data. We can also now show the difference. How much is the difference between these two? Yes. If you want to show that, you can create another calculated measure to show a difference between them. Or there is another feature which I will demonstrate in the next class. Yes. So maybe I would like to also create another dynamic column which shows the difference between for each product, how much we are lagging with our targets. So let me add another chart for just calculating difference. So go to more option, add a chart. And once again, I choose here add measure. And now I will choose a calculation, create calculation. So I'll say calculated measure, and I say target value minus order value, and I say difference. I calculate the difference, and I add the difference, and I add it per product, of course. So dimension is product. So for each product, you see the difference. You can also manually calculate and find out it's the same difference. It's a difference, so it's in the red color. So this is how we can work with the blending feature in Analytics Cloud. You can click this button, it opens the same screen, you see, same screen. Yes. Or you can go directly, what I showed you is this button over here to add a blending. Make sense? That's how we work with the blending. Okay. Now let's move to the next feature in SSE. So our next feature is, I will just go back to session number 5 because I have the data set for all of you. So now I will show you the next feature, which is called data updates and also POI. So first let's talk about POI. POI stands for point of interest layer. Point of interest is basically the geostationary data, the coordinates data, geomap data. So in the last class when we created this map over here, some of you had this question of Anubhav, what is this point of interest? So when we were creating the map, in this when we add the layer, we had this point of interest. So of course I am here to cover everything for you step by step, but when the right time comes. Yes, so now today is the right time when I can explain you what is POI. Yes, so let me just do that. Okay, so I'm so sorry, I've deleted my chart. There is an undo feature or not? Ideally they have an undo feature which I saw in the documentation they have introduced, but I don't see here anymore. There's no undo. Okay, let me just quickly go back. Location. Yes. Okay. Looks okay. Back to our chart. Yes. Okay. So now let's go and talk about point of interest. Imagine in your company, we have typically lots of assets of our company, like plants, manufacturing units. Yes. We have plant in a company, manufacturing unit, or for a country, we have schools, hospitals. Yes. We have schools, hospitals, tracks, railway tracks. These are the assets of a country, correct? Now I want to build 20 different dashboards which needs this common info. So do I need to create 20 models, one for each geo info, like railway track, plant, storage location of my country? Do you create 20 models? 20 times do you create same model again and again to carry this geographical information? Does it make sense? Probably not. So you will create one point of interest where you store your plant information or track information. Yes. And then you will create stories in which you have geomaps, one or two or n number of geomaps you can have. Yes. And each geomap can take data from same point of interest. From same point of interest, each geomap can take its data. Yes. That's what we can do. Okay. Let's go ahead and see this in the action. Okay. Let's go ahead and see this in the action. So I will now go back and we will create here point of interest. To do that, we have to go to modeler, and you see here we have point of interest. There are three ways in SAC we can create point of interest: from a shapefile, from an existing model, or from a CSV file. I will show one by one all three of them. So our first use case is of shapefile. So usually this shapefile will be provided by your company for the assets of your company or country. I did one project for Canadian government where they want to promote health and lifestyle of their citizens. So Canada has also created the cycling tracks to some of their areas, and they wanted me to build a dashboard on the map where I can show them cycling tracks across Canada. So this information was already available with them in a shape file, SHP file, which are created in a specialized geomap tools. So they gave me this file, they gave me the data, and I plot that data on Analytics Cloud for Canadian government. So a shape file is typically dedicated for that purpose. So you can see similarly I've downloaded for India state boundaries. So this I've downloaded from a website called IG's Map. So you can also go to this website IG's Map and you can download multiple shape files like railway tracks, state boundaries, country boundaries. So this is a website on internet. You can go and download lots of data. You see Ireland administrative boundary shapefile for countries, municipal districts, and constituencies. Italy administrative boundary, Spain administrative boundary, Greece administrative boundary. Similarly, you see, there are a lot of information about railway tracks. Yes, the water streams, rivers, mountains. Yes, lots of information, and there are lots of these files available free for multiple countries over here. You see for India, if I go, so I just went ahead to this website and downloaded the shape file. Unfortunately, I can't share the Canadian shape file with you. It's a sensitive data for that government, but something which is publicly available, you can download and practice. So we have India state boundaries available in this shape file, which you can download from here for free. So anyway, I'll share this with Google Drive in study material, this shapefile. So I will share with you this data you extract in your computer. So now we will use this shapefile to create a POI. So I go to shapefile and I say select my source data. So I'll just take this address of my computer and I will just choose SHP file and DBF. These two files you have to choose. Yes. Then give the name India state boundaries and India state boundaries SHP POI. Spatial reference, I'll choose the planner and state number. I click on create and let's save this. Go to our folder, training folder, go to point of interest. This is a complete reusable geo coordinate data. Click OK and you see a POI is getting created. This POI is absolutely reusable. You create hundreds of millions of stories in your analytics cloud, and whenever you guys need, ever India state boundaries, you can reuse this. That's the power of POI, reusability. I could have created some of this information directly in the model, but then it restricts only to the one model or one story, or let's say the stories which use that model. But specifically, if I just want geo coordinate data to be reused again and again across multiple departments and stories across my company, POI is the right option. Now, option one is done. I will use them later on, but let's create option two also with an existing model. So I say POI, or I say countries where I have my sales. So I say my model name. I go here. I choose my model, BI model, and I choose sales data model. I'll give here description and I choose location and secretary. So we come inside point of interest, country sales POI. Done. Second option is also done. Third, I create from CSV file. Click on that, select the file, and I have also going to give you this latitude longitude data. So this basically contains the information about our company plants. Where are my plants of the company? So I click on that and I say open, or I can say call it as office locations of my company. So it's uploading this data. Option number 3, office locations of my company. I choose latitude column, LAT, longitude column LONG, and city. So I will share this data set in today's class material. Click on create, and let's also store this in the correct place in the POI. Here, done. So by chance, if you stored something in a wrong location, you can move the content also. So you see it's being stored. Yes, it has come. So by chance, by mistake I've stored in SSC training folder, the country POI, the India States POI. I can move, click, and then we can move this data to another folder. So move to my POI folder, please. Here. So all my three POIs are created. All the three options I showed you. Now let's go back to story, and I'll show you the concept of POI. So I click a geomap now, and let's first add here. So currently you can see India. This is the data of India, very plain data. There is no information about state boundaries at the moment. Yes, just shows the country, just shows the data. Now I want to add a layer. So let's add a layer, and let's call it as India boundaries, India states. And I will now choose my point of interest layer. And I click on add, and let's give the path of the India state boundary, India states. Click on that, and just watch out, guys. Watch out. This is phenomenal. There you go. You can see it shows India state boundaries separately. I can change the color. I can change opacity. Yes. This is how we can create and use the first type of point of interest, which is from a shape file. So before earlier, I not had a clear state boundary idea. Thanks to the POI, it has added that. Let me add the next layer to put all the locations where all my businesses are available. So my countries where my company have businesses. So I go and choose another point of interest layer, and the one which we created from the model. I go inside point of interest, and I say countries where I have my sales locations. So which countries I'm doing my sales. You can see these are the countries where my company is doing some sales. And I can just change here. Size should be smaller. Just create a. So these are the countries my business is spread. Okay. Where are my corporate offices? Yes. Where are my location of corporate offices? Add another layer, and I can add this layer name as corporate offices. And then I just choose here point of interest, and I choose my third option, which I taught you, created point of interest, and choose office locations. So this is where my corporate offices are present, only in these countries. Makes sense. Makes sense. And let's change here to this one. It's a bigger size. So on the same map, you can actually show this information. So these are the countries where I have corporate offices right now for my company, and these are the countries where I have businesses spread, and India's state boundary. So on a same map, we've added multiple layers, and all three layers were added from the point of interest. You can actually change the map type. There is also different types of map types available, like Open Street Map or National Geographic Map or Topography. You see how beautiful it look. Light grayscale, which was the default. Dark grayscale, this is my personal favorite. Looks very beautiful. Yes. Wow. So just try out some map types. It doesn't have an impact on your POE or what you plot. It's just change the look and feel of the map in the system. So this is how we can work with the geo coordinates data in SAP Analytics Cloud with point of interest, which is fully reusable. You can reuse it across. So that was the concept of point of interest. Okay, moving next. Some of you were very concerned yesterday's class when I created my model about data updates. What is data update? When we create data model from our dataset, our data is also subjected to change. We want to know how can we adapt the change of data in SAP Analytics Cloud. Yes. How can we adapt the change of data in SAC? Yes. How can we apply this change of this data in SAC? So options, multiple options are there. One is you can directly upload the new data. While uploading, you can adjust the delta or you can replace the complete data. Another option is you can refresh the data from a data source. Yeah. So now we will talk about data updates, how when you build the model, your update of data will work. Let's go back and see this in action. So I will come here back to my analytics cloud and I will show you scenarios for data update. So last class we created model data from a flat file. But now first I will show you putting the data from Google Drive and update that data from Google Drive directly. Yes. So you can see this is my HR employee dataset. What I will now do is I'll switch over to my Google Drive and we will learn how to bring data from Google Drive to SAP Analytics Cloud. Yes. So that will work like a data source. The way you work with a data source, imagine that will work like a data source for you. So that's, of course, it's an Excel file, but this Excel file is now live Excel coming from Google Drive. So what I do, guys, is I will go to my Google Drive now. So just give me 1 second. I pause my screen because my Google Drive have some sensitive data, so I don't want to take a risk of sharing that. But I can just go to the respective folder. Okay. So now what I do is I go to my Google Drive. Yeah, this is my Google Drive. You guys can also use your Google Drive. And what you do is just go back and drag drop this file over there. Yes. And I do that. It has come. I click. I share now. And I say anyone can see it with the link. And I say copy link. Link copied. Fantastic. So this data set I will give it to you. You guys can try this. So now what I do is I will just go and create a new model from that Google Drive. So what I do is I go back to files, the modeler, and in the modeler we choose a model and we choose here from data source. Last time we use Excel file upload. Now we're choosing a data source. Now this is similar to what you will do also with S4HANA or BW system. Many of you come to me, Anubhav, will you show data connection with S4, data connection with BW? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What matters is data is coming from an external source. That external source could be anything. It could be Dow Jones, Concur, Fieldglass, HANA, IBP, BPC, BPC Cloud, datasets, Google BigQuery, Google Drive, OData Service, Business by Design, S4 HANA, ECC system. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The process remains the same, my friends. You need to understand this very basic thing. Very basic stuff. The process remains the same no matter where you get it from. No matter. So today I will show Google Drive. In future, we will also see other sources. So I choose Google Drive and I say Google Sheet and I give my URL, public URL of the sheet. Next. So now think of this S4HANA. So imagine this is BW. You're getting data from BW or you're getting data from S4HANA. Same thing, same process. Click on next. It started the import. So this is again acquiring the data. It's acquired data model. I click on this. So one thing, after you acquire the data, it remains in a draft state. Very important point, guys. Very important. When we import data, when we acquire data from a data source, the process is asynchronous. It's an asynchronous process, means system will not stop you to do processing and work. You can continue to work and the system will asynchronously fetch this data in the background. Okay, the data remains in draft state for 7 days. If we do not create model in 7 days, the draft will be deleted. Okay, the draft will be deleted. So now I've got the data. It's a very simple data of employee, first name, last name, gender, department, office, regional office, and all that. Yes. What I do now, I will apply some transformation. Why? Because later on I want to show you that, let's say today you get the data from a data source. So you have some data in your data source, let's say S4HANA or Google Drive, and you have column 1, 2, 3, 4. You import this data, you acquire, and after acquiring this data, data has come like this 1, 2, 3, 4 as it is. But now you do data wrangling. Data transformation in Analytics Cloud. So you combine this to column 1 and 2 to one column. You use the third column and you apply some changes to the third column and you keep the column 4 as it is. Tomorrow, if you add some more data here, some delta, you've added some new records. Now what will happen? When you do data import again, update, what will happen? The will the update apply? Will that with the wrangling will the wrangling be applied to this delta data or not? Will it apply to this delta data or not? When you do data wrangling, will it apply to the delta data or not? It will. Yes. So SAP Analytics Cloud is very smart. Whatever data update you do after some time and you update the data back to SSC, it understands and remember the data wrangling, and it will make sure that the newly updated delta data will also be adapted according to wrangling. Yes, that's the beauty of Analytics Cloud. So we will see this thing now in the system. So let me apply some wrangling. I'll combine first name and last name, and I rename the column to employee name. Then I will create a hierarchy. So let's go to the cards view and I will create a hierarchy for office region, country and location. Create a hierarchy. Sorry, first select these three, not geomap, the hierarchy. So I create office location, level based hierarchy because more than two dimensions are participating. So this will be a level based hierarchy. So office LBH I can keep. Looks good. And yeah, age should be as a measure, not as a dimension. So let's change it to a measure. Salary should also be measure, but if you look at the salary data today in your company, it's dirty. It has text and currency. So let's first split, remove the currency, split again based on dollar, remove this blank column, and now change annual salary to a measure. Makes sense. So this is how I next column called currency. Fantastic. So I have two major age and salary of an employee for this data set. Remember KPIs, salary, your salary matters guys. Your mom, your dad, your parents, your family, everybody asks that, right? It's a KPI for you. It's a KPI. I remember when I go for my engagement, the first question come from my My in-law was, how much is the salary? What is your package, right? In India, that matters a lot. So that is the KPI for a developer or for anyone who's working in industry, right? The KPI. Age is a KPI and annual salary is a KPI for an employee. So now I will have to save this model and let's create the model. So we applied multiple transformation and I want to show you later on that this transformation will take care automatically when you bring in the new data also at later on. Let's save this model as a BI model. Click OK. And now you can see the data is being created. The model is being created. Makes sense? So for the first time, we created a level-based hierarchy and we've also got the data. Cool. You can notice that system has imported the data and it says that it is from the Google Drive. Very good. Now, next thing, we will create a story on this. So let's go back. This guy I'll save. One question was there in the last class, Anubhav. Can one story use multiple model or not? Anybody? What do you think? Can one story use multiple model or not? What do you feel? Interview question. Yes, it can. In fact, we did it today in blending. We added multiple model. So even you not do blending, still you can use multiple model. So rather than creating new story, I'll use a canvas page and I will now create a chart. You see by default, it takes my data model as sales data. Okay, first of all, let me change the background color to dark. So by default, the data model is sales data. I don't like, I can change. I click change and now I choose the model which we just created. So go back and we will choose here our HR employee dataset which we just created from Google Drive. Google Drive is an external data source. It's a BI model. It's a acquired data model. It's not a live model. We will learn about live model in upcoming classes. Right now, just focus on acquire model. So it has acquired all the data, downloaded all the data from Google Drive and created a model. So it's a BI model. It's a public BI acquired data model of type classic. Click on that. And now I will show you the chart. So let's show here employee salary per region. So salary per region, which is a hierarchy. So you see for all, if I click, I can drill down. You have Europe, Middle East, Asia, and you have North America. If you drill down to North America, you have country Canada and USA. If you drill down to USA, you have city Chicago, New York, and Seattle. Wow. Wow, Anubhav. Thank you guys. Hierarchy. You want to include everything, you can click and now you see everything. Yes, everything, all the hierarchy levels. Yes, you see all the hierarchy levels. So you can just go back to level 3. So you have Belgium, Canada, and USA. So these are the current regions which we have supported, EMEA and North America. Now, what I want to show you today, I want to show you data updates. So go back to the model. Suppose in your company is constantly updating this Google Drive sheet. So how will the new data reach to you? So what you do is, let me just go back to our data sets and you see update in Google Drive, the sheet, everything I'll share with you, everything you get it. It's all for you guys, all for you. Your end-to-end learning is all here. Yes. I go to that sheet and I have some new data here. You see Anubhav, Sneha, Jack, Peter, Rohan, yes, Rohit, Vivek, Anil. And these belongs to Indo-Pacific Japan region. We have for India and Singapore as country. For India, we have Mumbai and Gujarat, and we have Singapore. This is our data. I will take this data, copy, straight away go to the Google Drive. Now imagine in your company, same situation. You have a Google Drive sheet, which is updated constantly by your business. Yes. You see, there is no transformation done. Split is not done. Yes. Concatenation is not done. Yes. Nothing is done. It's a pure plain data. I will just pump the data here. Yes, I pump. Now you have Indo-Pacific Japan as a new region, India, Singapore country. I save this Excel. Now I go back again, and what I do, I just click this refresh button. Wow. Wow, Anubhav. What it does? Can anyone guess for me what it does? Anybody? Yes. It goes to the Google Drive and it will fetch the data which is updated. Yes. Yes, exactly. What if somebody deleted the Google Drive sheet? Will it be able to magically get the data? If I go and delete the Google Drive sheet now and then I press refresh, will it somehow is Analytic Cloud is a supernatural power to go to your computer drive and scan your computer drive, all the laptops of your company computers, and it can fetch all the files and update the data also? Can those supernatural power is there with Analytics Cloud or any tool in the world? Can any tool do that in the world? No tool can do. Of course not. Yes. So of course you have to make sure the drive file is still intact. Yes. It's not contaminated. The columns are at least there which were initially imported. Otherwise the import will fail. However, you can schedule the import. I don't want to come and hit the refresh every day. I can come and click here and I can schedule the import once or repeating. I want every hourly, every 1 hour. Please repeat starting today up to 31st December. This is my time zone and every day morning 8:55. Please do that. So you can schedule the updates also. You don't have to worry. Every hour it will update the data. There's a question coming, Anubhav, will it replace, update? How will it find out? So that is my next point. If you come to the next point, you can choose the import method. Just update, append. Append means whatever new data is coming, just blindly append it. Keep accumulating. Clean and replace selected version of data. So selected version of data means you will choose which, uh, uh, you will not choose, you basically Analytics Cloud will especially look for a version column, which at the moment we don't have in this data set because it's not a planning model. But in this case, it will check the version of the data, the version column, and it accordingly it will update. Clean and replace. So I can now specify my key. I say check employee ID. If you find same employee data with same employee ID, update that data. But if you find new employee IDs in my coming data set, you can append that data. So that way you can also control based on your scope. What is your scope of update? If you not do this, then it will take all the dimension as a key for update. So usually we use this first option where I want to consider all the dimensions as the keys. And if there is any change in that set of dimension keys, it will append the new records. Okay. You can also say every time before update, reset. Reset means please clean and just bring the data, whatever data is there, replace that. Yes, completely. Complete overwrite. Yeah, you can do that if you want. It's risky. So I go with update. Next is mapping. So now it shows here all the mapping of your Excel file column. So originally it knows that there was a Google Drive sheet and you see mapped column and you see all the transformations. So what it does, it will fetch these columns again from Excel from the Google Drive and it will apply all these transformation before the data is updated in the model from Excel file. Okay. If there is no change in the dimension, but there is a change in salary, will it update? Yes, it will update because dimensions are treated as a key. Yes, it will treat it as a key. You can give it a try, guys. I'm giving you the use case. I'm giving you the data set. I'm showing you the process. All the permutation combination, you guys can go back and try. It's your research topic. Yes. Yes. Do you want trainer to do everything, every single use case? Impossible. Then I have to skip many topics for you. Yes. If every permutation, there can be millions of combination. So you have to give it a try yourself. So what it does first, it will fetch the data. It will compare and make the key. And then it will keep the data in the buffer. And then it will apply all this transformation on the buffer. And then it will update your model. If anything anomaly is found, any kind of problem is found, the data update will fail. You can check the log also. I'll show you where. I click OK. And then you can also delete this source. Let me right away update. So refresh, the update begins. It will go to Google Drive, fetch everything, and it'll update all my data. So let's wait for a few seconds. So it's comparing each record by considering all the dimensions as the key, and then it is applying transformation to the new data which is coming, and it's going to update our model. You see, it's updated and imported. Yes, fantastic. So now our data update is done. You can see the date and time. Let's go back straight into the story once again. And you see earlier we had EMEA and North America only. Yes. So let's rename this page to data updates. So one option you can do is you can configure a auto refresh of your story after every 5 second or 10 second or 15 second or 15 minute, or you can right away just go a refresh right away. Here refresh. Voila! Indo-Pacific Japan region is here. Wow, Anubhav. Wow, Anubhav, I love it. Thank you, Anubhav. Thank you. Data updates, guys. Data updates. Come inside, drill down. You have India and Singapore. Drill down to India, you see Gujarat and Mumbai. Amchi, Mumbai. Wow. Wow, guys. Rangilo, Gujarat. Wow, guys. Amazing. Is it possible to connect to FTP? I think no. FTP server is not part of the list. Only Google Drive is what they support. Okay. So we've updated the data. Now, this is the first type of data update I showed you from Google Drive. Now imagine you have Google Drive, which is good, no problem. But let's say Google Drive is down for next 5 days. Okay, let's say it's down. It's down. And there is a very important year end or month end close coming today. Today is the month end close. Your manager is very much tensed because Google Drive is down. You cannot update from Google Drive. So your manager comes to you and asks you, is there any way somehow we can bypass Google Drive and update data directly from a spreadsheet in the existing model? Valid use case. Valid use case. Google Drive is down and there is an urgent year-end closing. The data is there with manager in the Excel file. But since Google Drive is down, we can't update from Google Drive. So what can we do? Yes, guys. Yes. We can also do update from flat files in existing model. Let me show you the third permutation combination. Here we have this HR delta. What I do now, I import this HR delta. I go back to the model. You see draft source. I click on import from file. I choose source and I choose HR delta. You guys practice exactly same way the way I'm showing you first. And then you try your own research. I click on open. Now, one important thing, this HR delta, what you see, must have data transformed already. Okay. It should have data transformed already. It should have transformed data. You see, I've already transformed it here because on this data transformation will not apply. So you should make sure that you combine name, first name. You should combine salary. It should be done by you before in the data set. Yes, system will not apply transformation because it's a draft data. Okay. So I've already merged. So you see Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Kohli, Tendulkar, and MS Dhoni. And then I have salaries and they belong to Belgium and India. Now I've got new city, Delhi in the data set. We got Belgium with Brussels, yes, in EMEA. Okay, Indo-Pacific, India, Delhi, Mumbai have come. So let's update, come back. I'm importing this file, import. So this is draft data. Still the data is not pushed to the model, which means even just you add the draft source. If you come back refresh, it will not show you Delhi. It will not show you Brussels and Belgium's. Yes, Belgium is there. If you come inside, Brussels is there, but it's not, new data will not come. You will not see the player names. You will not see the player names. Maybe I'll show you a table also. Let's create a table really quick. Line by line, step by step, guys. Everything I'm covering for you, step by step, all combinations and criterias. So I come, I just come and I put values. So let's add that. Okay, makes sense. So you see in this, you will not see Dhoni, Neymar, anything. So you are just do a sorting in descending order. Yes. So you'll not see the data actually. Okay. The Dhoni, Neymar, all these data not there. Even you see if you come down to India, Indo-Pacific, you not see right now Delhi. Delhi is not there. In India, if I go, only Mumbai, Gujarat is there. Okay, no problem. Go back. So this is draft data remains 7 days in the draft. After that, it will get deleted if you not merge it to the model. We now click and click here. This will now start a mapping tool. It will tell you that what columns are there in your Excel file. Please map these columns to my model. So this is your model on the right, and this is your Excel column. So let's double click on account. So account dimension as age and salary, it mapped properly. Double click employee. So you see employee ID mapped. Yes. Then employee ID have employee name. So double click on employee name. You see here employee name was not mapped. So this name, what you can do, drag and drop it here to do the mapping. So whatever missing mappings are there, you have to do that. Gender. Okay, map to gender. Very good. Department. Okay, it found. Employment type found. Position. Okay, mapped properly. Office location. It mapped all the three things to build a hierarchy. Office location, region, and country. Currency. Okay, mapped. Okay, currency mapped wrongly. You see it mapped to annual salary. That's wrong. That's wrong. Cut it. Cut it. It's a wrong mapping given by SSC. Categories. Okay, measures. So in measures, you see age, but annual salary, I drag drop. It was mapped wrongly. Now I mapped it correctly. Okay, so correct your mapping, check your mapping. If everything is good, on the left you see the Excel data, you see Excel. On the right you see a model. Once you're happy with the model mapping, click on finish mapping and finish. Okay, currency must be mapped. So I can come back to currency and I can give a fixed value for currency. Yes, I can give. I don't have a currency column, so I can give a fixed value here. Set default value to USD. If I have a currency column in my data set, I can map. Click OK and finish mapping. Wow. The moment you do finish, now it is importing this data to your data model. So this way you can do quick updates of your data. Quick updates, even your Excel, even your Google Drive is down. It's merged. Fantastic. Let's go back to the data. You see Gujarat and Mumbai. If I do a refresh, Delhi. Wow. Let's do the linked analysis with my table. And if I go back to the view mode by saving my story, click on view, I click Delhi. And now you see Kohli and MS Dhoni has come. I click on Mumbai. You see we've got Tendulkar. Yes. I go back to hierarchy, to EMEA, Belgium, Brussels. And now I can see here my data set is updated. You see Messi, Ronaldo, and Neymar. This is how we work with data updates in SAP Analytics Cloud. Hello everyone, are you clear? Line by line, step by step, no coding is required. It's super easy. Even school students can build dashboards using Analytics Cloud. It's drag and drop. That's it. You know, the most easiest training I've ever conducted in my entire career of training is SAP Analytics Cloud. It's such an easy training. Non-technical people can also do this. Wow. That comes to the end of today's class and data updates. I'll catch you up next weekend at the same time. Have a nice day and goodbye.